Well, we have a statement from other candidates who lost in the elections on Saturday. Let's hear from Stephen Asamoah Boateng, who has released a statement. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in the studio. Joseph, he alleged vote buying during the conference. What is he saying in the statement?
He says he urges all to be strong and motivated for the journey which lies ahead of the NPP at large. We did what was expected of us, but the delegates believe that current executives can do better, that is those who have been elected. I respect their decision without any reservation.
We also know that TESCON members were not able to vote last Saturday. They have petitioned the party. What more do we know about this?
In fact, they have decided to suspend all activities on the various campuses until further notice, which includes general meetings, programs, elections, handing overs, until we see the said injunction, the one who placed the injunction and the reason for the injunction, and also give us positive assurance to settle us as soon as possible.
Well, we'll see how that pans out, but the General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Frimpong Kodja, says he will work to keep the party united.
As a political party which is seeking to make history, to be the first political party to win an election for 3 consecutive terms, it means that there's so much work to be done. But we can only do that when there's unity. We can only do that when there's cooperation among all of us.
Justin Frimpong Kodja is General Secretary of the NPP. The former President, John Mahama, has also been speaking about the NPP's Delegates Conference. Listen.
We play to our own tune. We don't play to the tune of the NPP. They finished their executive elections yesterday, and I'll just say, how are the mighty fallen? Instead of breaking the 8, some people have broken themselves.
You had the former President John Dramani Mahama, but let's stay with him because he says the decision by government to seek an IMF bailout should be sufficient grounds for the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to resign or be forced to step aside. Now, according to him, the leadership deficit in the Akufo-Addo government is responsible for the economic mess experienced by the country. The IMF last week commenced discussions towards a bailout package for Ghana after concluding the first round of meeting with government. Addressing a retreat for members of the NDC caucus in Parliament, the former president said the vice president should give meaning to honor and responsibility and resign.
Our ability to meet our debt service obligations remains tenuous, with Ghana ranked as a country with the second highest likelihood of debt defaults in the world after El Salvador. One of the key architects of the failed policies and mismanagement that have led to our economic downfall and suffering found it necessary a couple of days ago to put up a public display that veers on the ridiculous and comical. In a government where honor and responsibility are respected, probably the chair of the economic management team that has thrust us into this mess would have stepped down or been dismissed. In fact, the very idea that this government has requested for an IMF program would have been sufficient reason for him to go.
Now, this week, government will attempt to pass the $1 billion syndicated loan expected to finance projects and programs to be captured in the mid-year budget review. But the former president says the terms of the loans are not favorable and wants the minority side to reject it.
We do not believe that the existence of crisis permits even more reckless decision-making. All decisions and policy choices made at this critical juncture could offer relief or could exacerbate our problems and make recovery extremely difficult. We are in a massive hole and we need to stop further digging. Until the terms are renegotiated to make them favorable and the same captured in subsequent budgets, we are unable to support the approval of the $250 million component.
But the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, says the former president's directive is meant to sabotage government business.
If all of us have the nation in mind, we'll rise above some partisan interests and look at the interests of the nation. Another agenda to obstruct government business. Same thing happened. I remember Minister of Finance appealing to our colleagues in the minority on the e-levy that, look, if we are unable to pass it at a certain time, it was possible that, or it was likely that the rating agencies were going to take unfavorable decisions against us.
And you had the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin.